Welcome to the CFG GameCast, episode number 61, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Saturdays and release it on podcast services like Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. So show us some love, give us a follow, a like, a comment, what have you on any of our podcast services, or check out our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today are my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex on the second seat. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. It's been a week, man. It's been a week.
It's been a week. One of them weeks. First off, did you finally get your stuff working, like your Twitch and all that stuff, back to normal?
Yes. They accidentally fixed it, so to speak. They turned off.
I don't know how they accidentally fix it.
I know. It in like a weird turn of events, they kind of fixed it. They did something on their end that then allowed me to edit, essentially. So then I was good to go, thankfully. And so my two-factor is back on. My email works. Everything is good. No more BS. We're good to go. I also changed the email because clearly the other one doesn't work. So at least with the verification email, but I get every other email. I still don't get it. Whatever. But that got fixed. Then my HOA hit me with a pew pew right after, which was just so disheartening because it was like, yes, I win. And then my HOA was like, no, you don't. And I was like, oh, man.
Wait, what did the HOA do for you? Or on you?
They want us to submit, because I have faux grass in my front yard. If you're new here, I live in Vegas. And so my neighborhood predominantly has desert landscape or plants that can go long periods without water. And so when I first moved in, there was these really cool vines that they were honeysuckle vines that intertwined with like our gate up front in our patio section. And then there was faux grass, which for a long time we were curious if our plants went dormant. They went dormant like the day we moved in. They stopped producing honeysuckles. And so I removed the grass. I pulled the vines because we were told by like an inspector, like, hey, if you pull them now, I don't have to write a thing to go to your HOA. And I was like, cool. So we did it. And I put the grass back. I have replaced it since because it's Vegas. The sun beats down on it for most of the day. So, it changed colors. It didn't look as good. It looked grimy. So I changed it. No problem. But it's been there since I bought the house. Keyword. And then the HOA was fine with us not putting in another plant in place of the vines because of where our house is. We get a reflection from down the block, and so nothing grows. It just gets burned alive during the summer. And so, cool. Okay, cool. No problem. Well, now they want us to submit like an ARC, basically, and go to all 4 of my neighbors side to side and then in front of me on either corner and get their signatures for our faux grass. I kid you not.
Oh, that is the HOA for you. They always like to make things fun and hard. So
right. And my response was because Adam and I filled it out, but we didn't go to our neighbors because it looked like that portion was for if you repaint your house like a different color. Okay, understandable. And so we put like NA for everything, and then they responded back, you have to talk to your neighbors. I was like, this is for something that was there when they all moved in because I was here first. So no, I'm not going to. And they haven't responded. So I guess I won that argument.
What jerks. Anyways,
I
whatever.
Know. But yeah, gaming was good. Everything else was good this week.
Did you finish A Song of Horror?
No, we're close though. We're so close. I think we're almost done with chapter 3, which is going good. I don't think I've killed anyone yet. I'm trying to think. Nice. Nope, I don't think I've killed anyone yet. And then Alien Isolation I'm almost done with, which I find hysterical that the chat is very scared of Alien Isolation. And I just sit there like, hi, Barbara. We've named her Barbara. Or Barb for short. She keeps eating the people I need to help me. It's so rude. But yeah, it's been a good week. Played some Fall Guys.
Well, that's what xenomorphs do. So,
yep.
I mean, xenomorphs do what xenomorphs do,
But yeah, everything else was fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Nice. That's good. All right. And we got the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty on the 3rd seat. What is up, my dude?
Chilling, my friend. It was another busy work week for me. I had a bunch of shoots that I had to do over the last week, and we also over on LAN parties we interviewed Jen Taylor, who's the voice of Cortana, Princess Peach, some characters like on Dota 2, and numerous things. She was super awesome to talk with, super down to earth, and we just we it was nice because we kind of got on the voice acting path, because it's funny, you think that these people, they're these characters in games and they're like super into them, and she's like, nah, I've never played any of the Halos. She's like, I just
Do you know what's funny? It's funny because like I totally know exactly what you mean, because like it's like, okay, so like as you know, we have a new podcast out called the Pop Culture Gems, and we interview with all these different kinds of people. And I interviewed one of the voice actors the other day, and I was like filling out the questions, and then I was thinking to myself, oh, what does he feel about this character and so and so? But then I had to backtrack, and I'm like, wait a minute. They're not looking at it like a gamer. They're looking at it as a career, as a job,
right.
or so of some sort. So so you kind of have to see if they are, so I had to do my homework to see if he was familiar with it or if he did that stuff before I asked him those kind of questions. And then and that's why, and I like sending the questions out too beforehand a little bit, but that's but no, I know exactly what you mean on that, because well yeah, but it's like some of them is just like, I kind of feel like if they have the answers, they have the answers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to be any different, I mean, the worst answer I've always hated was when they say, oh, that's a good question, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so I might as well just you have to I mean, that's just me doing a little bit of prep, but if I can, most of the time. So
No, I totally get that. And we will sometimes too, but I didn't even think about that. I asked, and she's like, oh, that was the one question I was hoping you weren't gonna ask. I was like, no, it's cool, I get it, because it is, I mean, again, this is a job for them. So you have some voice actors that do get super into those games or the characters and stuff like that, and then other ones is just like, I didn't know anything about the series beforehand, this is just this character that I'm playing. But we really did talk a lot about, the voice acting process that she went through, and the stuff, and the work that she's done and whatnot. So that was super cool. Other than that, though, I know I didn't really do much gaming wise. I played some, obviously got my weeklies done for Destiny, Overwatch. I need to finish out the rest of that stuff, and we're supposed to play Grounded tomorrow. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Lex, does JT, myself. So yeah, that's
I would have loved to play Grounded too, but I was not invited. Apparently,
I didn't even know you had the game. What?
I could have gotten the game. I like playing games too.
Is it only 4 players? I don't know.
I don't know how many players you can have. Adam set all this up.
Oh, that's even better.
I like how you did it. She said, here's the bus. Here's the bus.
I know Adam's on the channel. Like, thank you, sir. Appreciate the invite.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm excited. I know a lot of people have been playing that game. I mean, there's still time, Davis. It's not tomorrow yet.
Oh, I can buy it. But hey,
we got to figure it out. We got to figure out how many people will.
I don't want a pity invite. I don't want a pity invite anymore.
Hey, nothing. I was asked as well by Dust, so I will also kick him under the bus.
I don't even have the game yet.
You don't have to.
See, there you go.
Adam was gonna buy it for me. So
same thing. Okay, fine. I'm done. I'm done trying to make y'all feel bad.
Sorry.
What about you, man? How was your week? I know you've been busy and whatnot.
Tell us.
Yep. I have been going on. Yeah, I've been doing good. Just finished my interviews with some people. Going to be releasing it out later this week, as always. I platinumed Fairy Tale, so that's another RPG platinum for this year already. So that's so now I'm trying to figure out what I want to play next. And I've just been figuring out some stuff for DLC if I want to actually purchase DLC. I have for some reason I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I have a real issue with DLC. Like, I mean, it's hard for me to play a game that's been established, and then when a DLC comes out, it's hard for me to come back into it. So I've been like debating if I should.
I still haven't finished the DLC for Horizon Zone Zero, whatever the game's called.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I have the DLC. I
Uh-huh.
started playing through it, and I never went and finished it. I suppose I
Oh,
need
wow.
to. Yeah.
Well, Frozen Wilds is great, but yeah, luckily I played Horizon Zero Dawn when the expansion came out. Like, so, uh, I was able to play it before play that and the game, but yeah, you're right. So it's hard for me to play those kind of games, So overall it's been going good. So I'm definitely going to be hopefully I'm going to try this. I'm going to try a test out a stream schedule next week. So hopefully see how that's going to go. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, I know y'all aren't here for all our pleasantries as always. We're just going to go through the normal rigmarole like we normally do. So let's get down to it. So each of us chooses a topic of discussion within video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry. And we don't want to talk about this amongst ourselves for the topics. We want you, the listeners or viewers on CFG GameCast, to be a part of the conversation. So if you have something to say about what we're talking about, by all means, put it inside the chat. We will add it. We will talk. We will conversate. And if that's a word, conversate, I don't think that's a word. But anyways, and we will be a part. We'll have a good old time discussion. So let's get down to it. So the beginning of the topics, we'll start with Lex. What are you bringing to the table?
Oh, do I have a juicy topic? Okay, so as you all know, and I'm pretty sure we've all discussed it. None of us here really play Fortnite. I think a few of us have dabbled here and there, or played because friends were playing and asked us to. But we're not hardcore Fortnite players, and that's okay. I do know a lot of people who are, and good for you. No shame in your game. This week, a series of events happened, and I was really excited when it happened.
You were excited when that all happened?
I was excited. Well, because it means a lot. So, and I'll tell you why. Some changes coming, y'all, and I think it's going to be a precedent furthering how we are policed essentially with our phones. So this week there was a tweet that went out, and I can't find the original tweet now, but a guy was like, "Man, Fortnite just put their in-game currency, and it's cheaper because it's through Fortnite and not going through the Apple iOS." Immediately, the tweet got taken down. Apple kicked Fortnite off of their platform. Think this was all planned. They knew the second that they went live with it that they were going to get kicked off. Earlier in the week, I think it was earlier in the week, I've always kind of known, but the CEO of Fortnite has made it pretty clear, Tim Sweeney, that I always want to say Tom Sweeney because of Sweeney Todd. He's always made it clear that he's kind of against big corporations like holding down the man. And essentially that's how he felt about Apple.
Epic is a big corporation.
They are. I agree. I absolutely agree full-heartedly. They are as well. But immediately after they were taken down off the iOS store, Apple came out with a video, and it shows one of the characters from Fortnite running into a room where there is an Apple head. Foreshadowing.
It was basically the commercial of the 1984.
Exactly. Which was funny because in 1984, Apple was basically like, fight the man essentially back then. And so it was kind of a cue back to that. But basically, it's Fortnite waging war against Apple. And this can be huge in many levels. Last week, we talked about how Apple said no to cloud gaming, which Fortnite said, why would you do that? You're holding something from billions of people, essentially, and they're not wrong. And when they published the video, they also slapped Apple with a lawsuit, a 64-page. I think I got through 60 pages of it last night. I tried so hard, you guys. It was a lot of reading. A lot of legalities, but basically so in a sense, Fortnite is going after Apple because they feel they are large enough of a conglomerate to now take on Apple in this realm. So they said no to cloud gaming because they state that there is a deep process of how they pick games and allow them into the iOS. They also take 30% of in-game currency. So if you create a game, let's say you create a game, right? And Apple says, we'll put it in our store, but every in-game currency goes through us and we get 30%. The end. And okay, I understand you want a piece of that pie, but also you're making it harder for indie developers to then achieve that level of getting into an iOS store, at least right away, right? So that's Fortnite's essentially, that is their driving force. But in essentially, them taking on Apple could then force them to say okay to cloud gaming, to get rid of that 30% and maybe do some sort of other arrangements with developers and being in game. It could also change, not necessarily having to always go through an iOS store. Because if you don't have an iPhone, you can't download, just so you are aware, you cannot go to a website on your phone and then download something. It has to go through your iOS store. Whereas with Android, that is not the case, right? So a lot of boys who have, oh, hi Dax. I was going to say something, but I'm going to take that back. I'm going to backtrack. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. So you can go and get other games from other areas. You don't have to go through like the store, like with Google Store. You can go through there, but you don't have to. So essentially, and they've stated that Google does do the same thing, but not to the extent that Apple does. And I was trying to get through it in the lawsuit to find out like what their argument was about that and the restrictions, like why Apple is so much more restricting, so they say, than
because it's freaking Apple. Apple's always been restricting. Has always been restricted though. I mean, but nowhere near as what Google is.
I agree, but I was curious as to what their argument was because, I mean, technically this could change how Google does their business as well if this goes through. Because, I mean, essentially, yes, it's a lawsuit, but then it could go to, like, Supreme Courts because then it will, it would be Fortnite versus Apple, and, it would then be held as a precedent for further ways that we do business with apps.
Well, you remember Epic's also suing, Epic's also suing Google too for the same exact reason.
Oh, so, are they? See, and I don't see anything on here about that.
Yeah, they're suing it. Well, this is the way I look at it because technically it's three conglomerates fighting, or two of the conglomerates versus Epic, and Epic is putting out their point across. Saying that it's not fair for that with them as a company towards what Apple is doing or what Google is doing, taking a cut out of the in-app purchases. And technically, they signed to agree. They agreed to that. I mean, the terms of service. But but my biggest issue is this, because I was telling Smitty about this earlier before the podcast, because like in my way, like from how I'm seeing on the suing, I don't see how Epic's gonna win because because the way I look at this is that it's like, imagine your Target, and then you decide your Target, and then one of the employees in Target decides to go to Walmart, and then they go to Walmart, but then they decide to build a Target inside the Walmart. And then they're getting money outside. They're getting the purchasing. They're trying to get the full amount of money from Target, with people within their thing on their own. So basically, they're kind of advertising within Apple's app store thing, like Apple's store unit, but then yet not paying the repercussions of like being a part of it, but then circling around and going within their own individual like in-app purchases to kind of get around the fact that they're kind of screwing Apple, because in a way I kind of think the way they did it was kind of shady in a way, because it seems it's kind of weird.
Absolutely trolled Apple, and they knew that they were doing that, and that was the whole purpose of it. But I mean, I think about it. I mean, even Spotify has come up, many in the EU, saying that Apple has basically Sherlocked the industry, and with the 2 antitrust investigations in the European Union, it was launched because of Spotify, because the store rules and iOS privileges to stifle its rifles, and that is where the monopoly comes in, right? And I think,
no, I definitely understand that. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not saying there's not a problem, but I just think the way that Epic is kind of awareness, like, because like now the biggest issue is this. Well, now the biggest issue is this: Epic is now on an island by themselves to this point, unless there's other people that are deciding to say there's going to be a grouping with them. Like, I mean, and it's not like maybe the people or anybody like that, because the people don't understand how this all works overall. It's morally the companies that are behind this that's being affected by this personally, the same way that Epic is, to be backing what Epic is trying to do. So, but if it's going to be just Epic, I don't see how that's going to happen. I mean, what do you think, Smitty?
I mean, this is something, because I saw the headlines and stuff like that, and I really didn't know necessarily what was going on with the whole situation. After reading it and kind of digging into a little bit, it is definitely kind of shysty what they did there, because they know what they signed into this thing. So to go and say, you know, hey, inside of this, we like to be able to bypass what we legally, you know, contractually signed up for with Apple and bypass that system. So we're going to take all those extra proceeds, and that's actually going to go back to the consumer. Those savings are going directly to the consumer. So I'm kind of torn by this, because like I see the good in that, and that's kind of like what they're saying with indie companies and stuff like that, and publishing out on their platform, that, you know, they get a higher rate of pay and stuff like that. They just want people to be able to publish stuff. So I see what they're doing. I think the way that they went about doing it, though, was a little, you know, I felt like that was kind of it was a little.
You didn't like the trolling? I thought the trolling was a nice touch.
But I think, that totally is, I could see that. Again, they have a younger audience. They have people that are going to be back in their corner. I do agree what you're saying, though, Davis, as far as needing some other people to come to bat on this and say, yeah, this is also an issue that we're supporting and that we see, because, you know, other developers had the same issue. Apple clearly has a problem with proprietary stuff within their thing. And basically, if you're in their ecosystem, you can only use their proprietary stuff, which absolutely holds then becomes a monopoly, and they've got no competition whatsoever to spur any kind of innovation or anything like that.
Is it kind of weird? But it's kind of weird when you say that, because it's there, because technically the way that you're looking at it, Apple isn't competing within themselves within their own infrastructure. That's just so, like, how can they? Because that, I guess that's the real question, is like, how can they try to push it as if it's a monopoly? Because the way in the eyes of Apple is like, this is our servers, everything is going through Apple stuff, it's using Apple software and stuff. You can't, like, I mean, it's like you're trying to say that you have to have competition within yourself to make it better, which I don't think the argument's going to stand at that point. That's where it's like, I'm kind of 50-50 on. It's like, wow, that's an uphill battle in itself.
Well, the other thing too is that everybody is focused on the Apple section of it, where I think the Google section of it is even more, you know what I mean? Because they don't, you know what I mean? Like, that's completely, theirs is not like that. Now, I do see that there was a tweet. Let me see if I can pull it up here. There's a tweet that stated, this is from Matthew Ball. It says that while Epic outright promoting direct in-app payment around iOS store, but in iOS apps, and users collect 100% of the savings, no monetary benefit to Epic. Note, McDonald's, Starbucks, et al. Are allowed to do this today, but not gaming media companies. So what's that about? You're saying that there's other companies so they're saying that McDonald's and Starbucks and some other companies have this built in, where they're not having to use the Apple pay infrastructure. They're using their own infrastructure for that. I'm curious to know,
because it's
how.
food.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, still, I mean, it's still very interesting.
Yeah, because why all of a sudden is it okay for them to do that, but not right?
That they would still get the 30%, but because they are food, they are then exempt from that. So it's like, well, wait a minute. You have to feed your video game characters. Hello, duh. They die if you don't. It's like a Tamagotchi.
What? Oh god. I mean, I don't know. Like, it just seems like it's very, very murky waters on where this is going to go. This battle seems like it's a matter of greed on all sides, and then I look at it. So like,
I don't know what it's greed on Epic's side though, because Epic is then, they're not taking any kind of monetary bonus. They're then just passing on those savings to the consumers. You know what I mean? So they're not really getting anything out of it. This is purely for, hey, we would like to be able to offer these discounts for you. We can't do it when Apple's taking 30% off the top. You basically no longer, you lose the discount because there's a 30% up, you know what I mean,
Right.
upsell there already. So that's what
Which
it
I
sounds like.
agree with Smitty on that.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
sounds like they're trying to do as far as with that. So this is definitely an interesting battle, and I'm curious to see how this plays out for sure, dude. Because
I want to know more.
I mean, this is gonna have impacts for future cases, like Lex was saying. You know what I mean? This is gonna set a precedent as far as, you know, in that gaming and mobile gaming space and how they do business and whatnot. So this is definitely one to take a look at.
What Tactics X7 says, basically, Epic is skating on thin ice with that one. I totally, because like, it's so weird that's the plat. You decide like you're going to fight tooth and nail to that extent to pass the savings over to the people that are, you know, to the consumers. Don't get me wrong, I would love that kind of passing on the consumers, but this is a fight that is like, it's not like a fight of like, you know, a simple fight. You're fighting two giant conglomerates that basically takes the whole piece of the pie when it comes to app downloads of essentially, and then this is what you're gonna try to push. I mean, like you need allies. That's what you need. This is the same, but I don't know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen if they make a change? That'd be awesome. It won't matter much for me because I don't play that stuff on phone, and stuff. But still, it's so interesting.
Well, I don't, you know, and I don't think though, like, I think there's still a longer game to be had in this. And yes, right now they're saying, hey, we want to pass those savings on to you, but there's got to be more to it than that. And I think they're very forward thinking, and they're trying to get things in place to be able to do stuff in the future that they would like to do. I don't, you know what I mean? I think the we would like to pass on the savings to the consumers is a nice and shiny for this. That's a good way to open up that door, but there's definitely got to be more to it behind the scenes.
Dedekin saying, well, since Apple is pulling FN, I want to see the Apple's next quarter sales. Apple will be fine.
Yeah,
like they don't need to worry about anything with that. Like, I mean, it's a chunk, but Apple makes so much money from just their stores. Like, they'll be okay. It'll be like, oh wait, it's a chunk, but it's like gas money. We're like compared for it. So like, who knows? Like, you know, it's just I don't know, like, I mean, like, and it's just so I just find it very weird. I love the fact that it's available. The only reason why it's available on Android is because, like I said, Fortnite, Epic has the game downloader on Android that separately from the Play Store, so you can actually download it with no extra issues. But but like the fact that this is all freaking happening is it's crazy. Yeah, so this is a good, I mean, that's a fight.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something, Lex? I'm sorry, I thought I cut you.
Well, and you were saying that you like there's going to have to be backing. I absolutely think there's going to be backing. I think that, again, this is going to set the standard for, because here, like, we've always kind of been policed as far as like the gaming industry, but because of things that were already there, right? But they weren't necessarily game related. And I think that this is going to then push us into a different sector, our own sector. And that's how it should have been from the get-go. And I think, you know, I don't think Fortnite has malice in what they're doing because they're fighting for the people, essentially. And I think that's what that video shows. Like, we're fighting for you guys. Yeah,
I really don't believe something about this makes me not feel like they're fighting for the people, though. I just they're something, they have to be getting something out of this. This is where if we're gonna be fighting that.
But I mean, haven't they already? I mean, think about it. Haven't they already gotten it? Because it was a free game for Battle Royale. They made billions of dollars through the microtransactions. Those were never forced onto people. They were, you know, it was an option, and people took that option, right? Like, I don't have any fancy outfits in Fortnite, but you could if you want to. It doesn't make you a better player. It's just all aesthetically pleasing, right? So they've made this game. The microtransactions don't boost your play style. It just makes you look cool. And I think they've just built this community that they harbor a love for. And I kind of think it's like I think it's kind of cool in a sense because it's like a streamer
No.
having their community, right? And then someone coming down and being like, "No, you can't do this." It's like, well, wait a minute.
You make it sound like Epic is is like the Robin Hood of gaming, of the gamers. In my opinion.
I mean, aren't they trying to do that essentially?
No,
like in this instance?
No, I think what they're doing. No, because like what Tosh here says, Epic has never fought for the people. But like, I will say this though, because I don't believe that because in one minute, because the problem is this is that like yes, Epic has done the right things. They have done the right things towards the indies who decide to say we're going to use the Epic engine to use for our games, or whatever they call it, the Unreal Engine. Sorry, the Unreal Engine to use for their games and stuff. And then they're like, yes, we're going to take a cut. A lower cut than what anyone else is giving it, so we're going to push it back to the things. They've done everything right because they've got good marks from Fortnite's microtransactions. Yes, that is great. That's cool. That's what makes them cool. But to say that they're fighting for the people specifically for this, to say that they're fighting for the people and fighting against Google and Apple to do that, there's something there that will be like, okay, there's a reason for all of this, is what I'm saying.
I don't disagree.
You could be the have the person with the best intentions, but for them to say, okay, we need you to fight Google and Apple and win, and for this situation on the sun to stand on, is because it's like, oh, because there's like $1 trillion somewhere inside the cave that they have it. So I'm just saying, like, I don't know, I don't believe it for one bit that they're doing this in the kindness of their hearts, because this lawsuit is going to be.
Come on, David. They just want to love you.
Oh no, they're not gonna love me on that. I don't believe it. I can't believe. I refuse to believe that. I mean, come on. I mean, what about you? What do you think, Smitty?
No, I mean, yeah. There's no, the company doesn't just do something for nothing. Or maybe, you know what I mean? Like somehow, some way, whether it's for good press, whether it's for this or that, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they did when they put out that video and how they went about going, you know what I mean, bringing up these lawsuits and whatnot. So they're not
poking that bear.
They are absolutely poking a bear. And again, this just could be for, hey, we tried. You know what I mean? Knowing going into it that there is no way in hell they're going to be able to, you know what I mean, do anything with it. Apple or Google will completely crush it. Everybody, they're going to rework. Again, this could also be about reworking their contract too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, totally exactly. Right. This is just totally a publicity move, a publicity stunt to you know, get eyeballs on it and whatnot. And really, they're just looking to take. Can we just go from a 30% to where you guys get like 25% or maybe 20%
or 20 or something?
Yeah, exactly. Something. I can see it being more about that than anything. And they just went about it in that way to make Apple them look like the bad guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Because like, I think like, you know, the reason why I think they would do a fight like that would be like they realize the amount of money they're getting from multi-transactions on the iOS and the phone services alone might be more than what they would be getting on PC and console systems. So they might be getting a lot more money, to a point where they're like, we need to just kind of see what we can do so we can get even more money out of that. It's very possible. I don't know, but yeah, we'll need to cut it.
I just like playing devil's advocate against Davis. It's fun to watch you squirm sometimes.
Say what, Lex?
I like playing devil's advocate against you sometimes because it's fun to watch you squirm a little bit.
Oh no, well, that sucks. That's horrible.
No, it's all in fun. My intentions are always pure.
Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious.
All right,
let's cut. No, but that was a great topic, Lex. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to get that talked about. And I know you've done your homework on it too. 60 pages,
dude. I got through 60 pages, and then I started doing this. Okay, I'm done. Like, so many legality words, and like there were some things in there. I mean, I definitely think this is something that could go like to Supreme Court eventually if it gets that traction.
It needs a good steam, good amount of steam to do it.
It does need steam, but I mean that's why I was like, the second I saw it like broadcasted during the week, I called dibs. By the way, guys, I was like, I called dibs on Fortnite. Because I was immediately like reading. I was doing research. I was like, this is interesting. I found it interesting. You know?
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, definitely. Most definitely. All right, so I guess I'll do my topic next for this one. So I'm going to be talking about a more simpler topic, Street Fighter. And I'm talking about like earlier this week, there was an announcement of one of our favorite people from the community of Street Fighter from Capcom, Yoshinori Ori. Not Ori, Ono. Sorry, Yoshinori Ono stepped down and stepped down from his post as producer of Street Fighter and is walking away from Capcom. Ono's been in Capcom's like ecosystem for almost like I want to say 25 to 30 years. He's been there forever.
Wow.
And he grew and he was the lead, he was like the producer of Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5. And I think we've actually talked to him a couple of times too in the interviews and stuff, and he's a real cool go-getter and stuff. But it was what's very interesting is that like I think that there's so many rumors going on about what's happening, because technically throughout his process of him being in Capcom right now, like he was the executive producer for Street Fighter 5, and then he was supposed to be the lead of the next gen SF6 Street Fighter 6. But there's been like rumors about like how bad the like how far like it's behind, why there's a season 5 of Street Fighter 5 now because of how behind they are and stuff, that they kind of more forced them to kind of step to leave rather than get rid of them. So it's a real big hit. Anything like he's a great dude. So I really hope that we get to see more of his stuff later on in throughout the deal. I don't know if I'm pretty sure y'all don't play fighting games. So but I just want to know like if you're familiar with them. You do? You do?
Excuse me. I have a little bit, and I know the name. I mean, again, any time you've got such a prominent member that's been on a franchise for so long, leaving, you know what I mean? It makes you kind of look at it like, it's like, all right, well, what were the reasonings exactly why they're leaving? Is it something maybe they're going to a new project? Maybe they're seeing frustrations and things like that. Like you were saying, Davis, they shouldn't even be having a season 5. They were talking about plans for maybe a Street Fighter 6 at this point, but things are behind.
Yeah, it's in production. Like they're okay. Making Street Fighter 6, but it's behind schedule because of some behind door stuff that I have no idea what's going on, because they haven't announced anything.
Right. Yeah. You always hate to see somebody that's been so attached to the series leave, whatever the reasoning may be. Hopefully that doesn't end up changing, because again, you've had where major characters and major people that have their hands on a game or a series, they leave, and then all of a sudden the game no longer feels like that game. You lose that touch that person brings, and you won't know that it's there until it's already too late. You know what I mean? So
here's the weird thing about this, and this is the funniest thing, because like, okay, because of Street Fighter 5, because when Street Fighter 5 came out the gate, it was a hot piece of garbage. It wasn't that good. And it was slowly and to be fair, I think it was mostly some of it was Ono's fault on how it was implemented and some of the things that were happening. But during the time of Street Fighter 5, they demoted him because and then the vice president of Capcom, which was the president's son of Capcom, took over through that. From that transition, it started getting better from it. So then I think like, well, this is my theory. I think that because like technically throughout this 10-year time with Street Fighter 4 to what's been going on now, fighting games for Capcom haven't really been in the best modes. Like Street Fighter 4 was mediocre, 5 was mediocre for a long part. I'm trying to get back into it myself. But then you had the real big failures, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and stuff like that, so like so like when those things happened, because that was all on Ono's watch, so I think this might have been a better mood, but because like they tried it again, they tried to give him 6, and apparently when 6 with these bad news are happening with 6, they were probably pushing him or pressuring him to step down. So like I mean, like I said, Ono is a great guy. He's a cool dude, but like but maybe the opportunity and the chances need to be it needs to be with some other, maybe with some new blood in the mix
Right.
of Street Fighter is my opinion, my humble opinion, I would say. So I mean, sorry, I cut you off though, right? Were you gonna say something
No,
else?
it's fine. What are your thoughts on it, Lex?
I used to Street Fighter was one of my like first games I was obsessed with. I loved Street
Mhm.
Fighter. I'm a Blanca main, by the way. You're welcome.
Oh, his favorite character
Um,
was Blanca too. He carried a little Blanca toy with him everywhere that he traveled to. It was
that's
really hilarious.
amazing.
He was really
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
Blanca is my all-time favorite. I love Blanca. I've gotten out of fighting games. The last fighting game I was really into was like Injustice 2, because it
Yeah.
Mhm.
felt so much like the original Street Fighter, with the two battle series. I tried to get into, because I played it at TwitchCon, was the I keep wanting to just say Majin Buu and Goku.
Oh, Dragon Ball
Dragon
Fighters.
Ball
I
Fighters.
I didn't care for it, with like the internal 3-part system. My
Yeah.
hands by the end of 1 and 2, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And my hands are doing this, and I'm like, I can't. What do I do? Press buttons with my nose? Which I was
Can't
kind
feel
of
my legs.
thrown onto a stage, and they were like, play a game. And I was like, I don't even use Xbox controllers. What do I do? So like it was just very like, oh good, but that was an amazing experience. But I do love Street Fighter. I always have. I haven't gotten into them, the newer ones, because I just kind of heard that there was a trash fire, but that they are slowly getting better. And with those, it's one of those, it's like, well, if I can play it on, if I have to play with a controller, because do they have them for PC, like, available?
They do. They do have
They
them for
do.
PC. Yes.
Okay. I mean, I would definitely, if it was like I could play it on PC with like keyboard and mouse. Oh, y'all better watch out.
Why don't you play with the fight stick? Like, do you play with the fight
That's what
stick?
my brother played with a fight stick.
Yeah, I mean, you know what a fight stick is, right? Right,
Yeah,
Lex?
I
Okay.
I have a
I'm not
tendency.
saying that in any condescending way. I'm just legitimately asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what a fight stick is. I've never like played with one, because they're similar to like a joystick, right? Like a joystick controller.
Basically, yeah, like
Yeah, it's the same thing.
your arcade machine thing and the buttons and
I
whatnot.
panic, and
Yeah.
I grip so hard that then at
Mhm.
the end of it, it's like, well, I beat you without a controller, but now my hand's stuck like this.
Well,
So
you gotta
whereas
change your
I
style. That's all you have to
know I
be. The
can't.
champagne
It's like in
you
my
gotta
shoulder.
do.
Like I just like, oh, I gotta smash. Like I turn into a psychopath.
You gotta do the
But
champagne hole, the one with the whole, like a
I
fine glass of champagne.
know. I know. And then like my shoulder will seize. It'll be like, okay, hand relax, shoulders not, it. But I do love fighting games. Blanca's my favorite. I think, sometimes you need fresh blood in something. And I think you guys are asking great questions, like, why is he leaving? My question is, even after a demotion, why did he stay? Obviously, he had some sort
Mhm.
of loyalty there, and he still, regardless of the situation, still felt comfortable, right? And so I think that speaks volumes to what Capcom is like internally, which I
I
think
don't
is
think so
great.
though.
You don't?
I think no, because I think Japanese business is a lot different than what it is in the American
Yeah.
business,
Yeah, they are.
because I don't think that they I think you're right about one. I think you're definitely right about loyalty, but I think that it's because they don't, like, when someone that's that integrated into the culture of that company, they won't
Mhm.
let you go. I mean, they won't fire you. They're going to give you they're going to wait until you're like tired of it, or
Sick and tired.
maybe, like, yeah, or maybe like what most people like to do because they don't want to fire you, they force you to quit, that
Mhm.
kind of situation. I mean, far know what we hear, what we know on the foreground, but on the background, I bet you they could have made his life a living hell while he was doing all of
Right.
this.
That
So
sucks.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, so who knows,
that's true.
but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think getting new blood into anything is always a good thing, because and some people think, oh no, that's bad, everything's going to change. Sometimes things need to change to become better, right?
Right.
Totally.
Sometimes that system needs to move. Like again, and my mom has always told me this, like, you have to be uncomfortable in a situation to then change, learn, and grow, right? And she always used to tell me that with my hip would swell up from figure skating. That's a story for another time. She'd be like, well, you have to be uncomfortable to get better. I'm like, yeah, okay, mom, can I get off the ice? I can't walk. And I think that kind of rings true for other things too, though. I mean, you have to change things to then go forward. Or maybe you changed and you realized maybe the old model was working after all, but you guys lost sight and lost focus of what that was, and I think that's always good for a business in general. Just, I don't know, now I want to play Blanca.
You still can.
I
You
want
can
my
always play
Sega back.
Blanca. You can play that on the all on PC. In fact, I kind of prefer it on PC because you can
I don't want my
actually
Sega
make different
Genesis
skins.
back.
You want the Sega Genesis? That's like the
Oh,
worst version of
oh
Street Fighter.
no! It's bad. They just double smash. He shocks everybody.
It's
There's
like,
so
who
many weird
plays? But
characters.
how can you play that? I've never really understood it with Sega. It's like, how can you have a controller that is only 3 buttons with a 6-button game? I mean, then you had to do the weird combinations. You had to do B and C for medium, or A and B for medium punch or medium kick. It's just like, what is this?
But I memorized it all. Like, I wrote it all down and I memorized it during school.
If you want to go retro, go Super Nintendo.
We do have one downstairs. I should check in the box and see if there's a Street Fighter in there.
There you
That might
go.
be. But yeah, that's my thoughts. That's all.
Fair enough. That's good. All right. Well, that's cool. And we'll go over to Smitty. Smitty, what are you bringing to the table? What you got?
Yeah, so I just wanted to, especially with the current situation, things that are going on right now. And this was almost because it came out in 2009, so it couldn't be in my top 3 games of the decade. But again, I really feel, and I didn't realize how much Minecraft has done gaming wise and what they continue to do. It was just announced that Minecraft Education Edition is now available on Chromebooks, which I know those of you out there that have kids and whatnot, I know that a lot of schools that are doing distance learning, they're also allowing you ability to check out a Chromebook for your student, your child, to be able to utilize. I just want to read some here from this article. Microsoft has announced that Minecraft Education Edition is now available on Chromebooks, allowing a variety of devices, including iPad, Mac, and Windows PCs, to work together through crossplay. It opens up the game to even more players, assuming there is anyone who hasn't tried it at this point. Along with this announcement, Microsoft Education Edition will receive an update that provides support for remote and hybrid learning. This update will automatically be applied to those Chromebooks, iPads, and Windows PCs. Mac users will have to install it manually. It's unclear which Chromebooks are compatible, but The Verge reports that users will be using the Android app of Minecraft Education Edition that now has Chrome OS support, blah, blah, blah. Basically what this, and here's the juicy part of it. Minecraft Education Edition is designed specifically for educators, allowing them to teach and interact with students all over the world. It includes chalkboards and laboratories, as well as classroom mode that lets teachers communicate with, with and view where students are on the map. Subjects like history and math are taught through the game's world. These lessons can be downloaded from the Minecraft Education Edition. Again, what I was saying is, the fact that we are in this pandemic, there are a lot of people now that are having to use this is not the video I was looking for. Sorry. A lot of teachers and educators now that are having to do this distance learning and remote learning. Excuse me. I think this is a fantastic tool for teachers and for them to be able to engage and work with students on in a virtual world. To have tools like this is absolutely huge. We know that there are a ton of kids that enjoy Minecraft, being in that world, games like that and whatnot. Them coming up and stepping in and being able to do something and providing another tool for educators in this world, I think is absolutely amazing. This is something that I'm going to try with Scorp Kitty because she is a teacher as well. So I think this could be, I'm going to work on trying to help her set it up I'll end up buying a game so that we have it and we're able to utilize this. Because I think this would be something that would be cool for her to be able to set up for her students, or even, you know what I mean? Like, who knows what's a part of this? I just thought this was really, really needed them to go in and provide these tools for teachers. Again, I don't know if you guys know teachers or have friends, but teachers have to spend a ton of their own money. You know what I mean? Just
So much.
so much. It's so
Nowadays,
crazy. Yeah,
everything
especially
like
nowadays. Yeah.
It's gotten
everything has
worse.
been basically because it's been gutted out. Everything like that was governmentally funded has been basically gutted out from education, and now people have to pay out of pocket, which is ridiculous and worse in some states. Like Arizona is one of the worst I've seen.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I
It's
think in
sorry, go ahead.
Texas, like we had a program that helped like get us a lot of what we needed. But even when I implemented for my class, because I used to teach special ed, autism and deaf studies was my major, but I taught kindergarten and I did half days. So I would get to school at 4 a.m. And even though my class was done by 12:30 and all of the kids were picked up or moved on to other curriculars, if that was the case, like if they were in a full day, they weren't in my class. And I didn't leave until 4 because I was making booklets by hand because they couldn't buy me a laminating machine. And at the time, they were quite big and bulky. It wasn't like an accessible thing where I could just purchase one.
right.
Whereas now, like it's easy peasy. You just run it through a thing and it does it, and it's like $50 max. But yeah, I mean, I used to have to stay late to cut up because a lot of my kids were nonverbal, and I made each one of them these tiny little notebooks, and every year we would have to give the principal our budget and what we thought how much more we needed and how much we spent out of pocket. And I mean, just for my special ed class, and I thought it was a lot back then because I was also moonlighting as a bartender at the time. I was doing, I think, out of pocket, and this was 2006, a good $1,200 out of pocket for my kids. That's not
Jeez.
what the school was giving me too. On top of that, it was the 1,200. When I moved to Vegas, they were like, "We give you nothing. Good luck." And I was like, I'm done. Mm-mm. I'll just
Yeah.
I'll just perma sub because what's the point? I can't afford to do this, and if I can't afford to give these kids the tools that they need to further their education, and the school's not going to do it, I'm no help to them at this point. I'm only harming them. And so I would just perma sub, and that was great. And sometimes, a school would try to like want to hire me because this teacher just didn't want to come back because they were mentally fried. And so I think with stuff like this, you're really implementing a new tool that the teacher doesn't have to pay for. B, kids can now, if for some reason they are more on the low income, which a lot of students are, they have the option of renting out these Chromebooks. And I think this is amazing. And I think it's fun too, because like, for instance, like there's a lot of science experiments that you can't do in school with kids. Like that was the reason I didn't end up getting an extended degree, because I just got from kindergarten or pre-K to 6th grade, because I wanted to teach 8th grade science for normal kids like twice a day, and the rest would be special ed. But they're like, no, you can't launch a skateboard with jet fuel across our lawn. We won't allow that. And I was like, it's a science experiment though. So it wasn't actually jet fuel, but that was the response from my principal at the time. But like fun things like that. And I thought, that's so frustrating. But in a world like Minecraft, you could absolutely do those like little more dangerous things. And it also, I think, Minecraft, why it's so popular is it teaches kids a lot of life skills. I've so many times, my goddaughters, their friends play Minecraft, and my friend, Harley will come over and I'm like, don't you have, I'm supposed to drop you off at Emily's on Friday. And she's like, yeah, after her Minecraft session, we'll go over there. But because Emily played so much Minecraft and she liked farming, they now have like a little garden in their backyard. So Emily implemented that into real life. And I think this, also helps kids discover other loves maybe. And I think there's nothing bad about the scenario at all. I think it's all good, and I'm excited for
So
it.
are they planning on using this like as if like a teaching tool with teachers, or is this more like Like anyone that has a Chromebook can download this or can download this version of Minecraft and just just kind of use this as for education purposes. You know what I mean?
It looks like it could be either or, but I think this is designed as a resource for teachers. Yeah, exactly. And to help them be able to, because I remember when we first went into the pandemic, I remember hearing something about these little pop-up rooms in Minecraft where people were actually teaching and stuff like that. My understanding, I'm kind of going through the process now and I just downloaded it. But it looks like if you connect to a is it Windows 360, or if you have an account, like a licensed account with them, then it connects the two together. And I mean, it looked like I'm downloading this now, but it looked like it has resources. It's got let's see, purchase
probably
and
has
manage
teachers
licenses.
plans too in there too.
I imagine so. Yeah, it says check to see if you have an account for Minecraft Education. You'll need an Office 365 Education account to log in to the full version of Minecraft Education Edition. If you don't have a license, you can still use Minecraft Edition with a limited number of logins. Okay,
Gotcha.
so and it's asking for your school email address. So this is designed for teachers.
Education specifically for teachers. That is such a great idea, in my opinion. It's like I don't even like. I mean, if it's a sort. I mean, if the only resource is going to be a Chromebook, if it can run on a Chromebook, then that's freaking amazing. So like, no, I mean, I think this is going to be. And the things that that either education that they won't afford or they can't afford it because they don't have the access or the resources whatsoever could possibly be shown in a gaming kind of format, and also more of a good interactive, especially to young kids. Yeah, I mean, sign me up. I mean, I think this would be very awesome. I mean, I think it's they're gonna. I mean, Minecraft is totally really has been so innovative to a point that where we're at to this day for just in general, it's just ridiculous.
Yep. That's awesome.
Right? This is freaking awesome.
Because a lot of times if you don't make up your lesson plans during the summer, and because you have to turn them in weekly to your principals, a lot of times you get stuck having to buy lesson plans from other teachers.
Oh wow!
They will charge you an arm and a leg, little jerks.
Get all the work. I would.
I mean, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I would. I mean, like, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? I've done all that stuff for lessons, full lesson plans. Yeah, no, I would definitely do it. I wouldn't care. But no. I think this is definitely a good idea.
Hold on, though. I don't know that this is necessarily free though, because this thing is saying purchase and manage licenses. Minecraft Education Edition is licensed via yearly subscriptions purchased through authorized education partners or directly with the Microsoft Store for education.
Well, for an individual like us, yeah, it's not going to be free. But if it's going to be through educational, but if you're going through an educational institution, there are always massive discounts towards that. So like, especially state funded schools and stuff, they're not going to be paying that. They're going to be paying something, but it's something that will be cheap, right? Like it's something cheaper than what you would normally expect.
I would assume so, because like you get an Office 365 if you're a teacher, like you get an account,
right,
through your school, right, and you don't have to pay for that.
The school pays for it. Yeah,
the school does pay for that. That's part of the government funding, but sometimes they jerk your chain and end up making you pay back in other ways. But if you have that, I would assume like Kat, you should have Kat try to see if she can get in. She might be able to do it for free because of her having it. Now, I wonder, for homeschooling purposes, if I could use this, because I'm about to start helping Brandy homeschool my goddaughters. I wonder, because I don't have a 365 account anymore that is active, if I would probably have to pay for this in the lesson plans.
Well, look at this. I mean, even this here, I pulled up the store and it looks like, I mean, it says $5 a user a year.
Not even that expensive.
That's not expensive at all.
$60.
Then I don't mind that. No.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Because like I think it's just a number. I think it's based off the number of licenses or users that you have. Like I think it says that you're allowed to have a few logins, but like if it gets too much, then you'll have to purchase a subscription. I don't know then if you're able to work within that infrastructure and then pass that out to the kids. Do they count as a user? You know what I mean? Or is it just like an open world thing where, hey, today in this lesson, we're going to go to server 596 and your lesson's going to be about coding today or whatever. You know what I mean? This is definitely going to be something I'm going to dig into and try to use, because I think this is a really, really cool thing. And again, too, you know, we talked about this going into these lockdowns and whatnot, just how this is really an opportunity for people to become a lot more innovative about the ways that we typically do things. You know, we're gonna have to find other ways to be able to make this stuff work. And I love it because you see something like this, and this is absolutely a brilliant way for kids to be able to learn, to work within you know, again, I need to go in and see it myself, but to work within a group where you still have somebody leading, you have this teacher that's leading the lessons, but then you have all these kids congregating in this virtual world. They love it. They're learning. Like, you know, this is fantastic.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's cool.
That's so cool.
Nice topic, Smitty.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. Good job,
Lex.
Yeah.
What do you have planned for the week?
Another spoopy week, guys. Hope you're ready. So Monday, Song of Horror. Tuesday, DBD. Wednesday, Alien Isolation, and Thursday, I'm not sure. Maybe some Alien, and then move into like Fall Guys or something, like as a community night. But yeah,
Can I play with y'all for Fall Guys though too, Lex, or if I buy it?
Of course.
Okay.
No.
Of course you can. It is. Well, I usually do first come first serve, unless like you hit me up prior and you're like, "Can I collab with you?"
I want to play with JTZ and y'all one day. Like one day.
Yeah, I haven't even gotten to play with.
I really want to do a monster prom with y'all.
Oh, yeah,
I think that would be fun.
I totally have that game.
Yeah,
we can set that up. That's a 4-person.
We should definitely do. Yeah, we should definitely do like a monster prom.
But the rules is you have to voice all of the characters. So even the girls, and like sometimes we even it out. Boys get girls, girls get boys. You have to on the spot come up with a voice for them. So
we should definitely do like a.
That would be.
We should do. We need to do like this is what we need to set it up, because like unfortunately, I guess the only day that I can really do that would be Friday. But if we can get like a 4-person monster prom going on multiple streams, and then we'll do a monster prom thing like that event on all.
I would be on board with that. Yeah, I'm kind of taking a break from Overwatch anyway.
Yeah. We definitely
probably get that going. We would have to probably, if you want JT involved, we'd have to go live a little earlier. So like for like you and I, Smitty, would have to be like midday. Yeah, because I think
what time is JT's Eastern? He's East Coast.
I think he works overnight, though, right?
He's East Coast. Yeah, but I don't think he works Friday nights. I'll have to find out. But
if he works Friday nights, right? Yeah, let's find out. We'll set that up, because I would love to do that. I've been
You've been talking about it for a while. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We can set that up. I know that his schedule is about to get crazy, so I'll set it on I'll leave a sticky on my monitor, because I'm going to talk to him tomorrow and see him for a few hours. So I'll ask him tomorrow for you. But yeah. We do love Monster Prom. I love the developers. They're so sweet. Christian is the one who reaches out to me through that for them.
Why don't you hit up Christian too on that? That'd be pretty cool.
I should. I mean, I'm sure that we could do like some giveaways. I'm sure they would be happy to give us some keys.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, I usually, I'll be honest, when I get keys from Christian, like I hoard them and I don't say anything about them. And then as we're playing, as people are like, "Oh, I think this game's cool," I'm like, for members only, followers and subs, and not for today. I have a couple keys. If you're interested, let me know in the Discord, and if there's more than one of you, I'll flip coins or do like a random number generator, and I'll give it away. Because here's the thing, like I want to give back to people who have been there for a long time.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And I also don't want to give it to a rando who may or may not play the game, but we're just there to win, essentially, because Monster Prom is a fun game, but I don't think a lot of people appreciate it for what it's worth. But if you've been a community member of the Brain Gang for a long time, like, we appreciate that game a lot.
First off, if like I'm already thinking of like an advertise, like I want to make a banner with all our faces or something, just play Monster Prom or something. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be fun. I'm sure. You know what? If you make a banner, I will send it to Christian and be like, "Hey, boy, what's going on?" So we have an idea. What do you think? Could you and see what he says. I'm sure he would. Absolutely. Because like he'll randomly just email me and like, hey, hope you're doing good. I know it's been a couple months. Here you go. And I'm like, thank you. That was so sweet of you. Yeah, he's just real sweet.
We don't believe in money here.
No.
we just give you lots of prop currencies.
Well, there is a new one too, so I think we would have to discuss which one we want to play. But yeah,
absolutely. Well, I don't have any of the expansions on my own personal.
Oh,
I need to take a look.
I remember I played the game.
I gave it to you. Yeah.
Huh?
Didn't
I? Shocker. She gave it to you.
No, not Monster Problem. Did you?
Yeah, I think so.
Depending on the time of day.
Wasn't it in a bundle?
Maybe.
I thought it was in a bundle.
That'd be pretty cool. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We literally are just spitballing an idea right now. So but I think it's going to go into fruition. But we'll definitely keep in tune.
I want to do it. I'll talk to JT tomorrow. Remind me, Smitty.
I'm sorry, I rudely interrupted you while you were telling your schedule. What else was your plans besides Spoopy Tuesday or Spoopy Week?
Spoopy Week until we finish the games. So, Song of Horror, Dead by Daylight, Alien Isolation. Thursday's up in the air, but probably Alien and maybe like Fall Guys for a community game or something. But yeah,
sounds good. All right, Smitty, what do you have planned for the week?
I am back over on Mishmash TV this Wednesday with part 4 of Detroit Become Human. Again, I'm really enjoying my playthrough over there on that. We've got another fantastic guest over on LAN Parties as well. I'm not giving it away, but is another voice actress that is in some upcoming games and some other games that we know about. So that's gonna be a lot of fun jibber jabbing there. And then Thursday, I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'm kind of like just taking a little break from Overwatch, so I may get on some other games. I would love to get a story game started over on my channel as well. I feel like I primarily just play multiplayer and FPS games, so like I'm having a lot of fun doing the Detroit Become Human playthrough. Like it's something I'd like to do on my channel as well. So do
what's it called? Do another what's it called? Developer game that's like Detroit Become Human, like Heavy Rain, or
I could. I mean,
Beyond Two Souls.
But I'm trying to get through. I think I have both of those games. But I'm trying to get through some of my backlog too. So I have Red Dead Redemption 2 that I need to finish. I still need to play through Spider-Man. You guys have convinced me to get Ghost of Tsushima, and obviously I am going to finish Metal Gear Solid 5 before the PlayStation 5 comes
You are
out.
not going to finish that.
I'm going to finish it. Don't tell me how to live my life. Don't tell me how to live my life. I am going to finish it in spite of you. I am going to finish it in spite of you.
Put your money where your mouth is. $100.
We already did.
Yeah. No, the bet is down. The bet is down.
We already said. Or is it $100?
Was that part of it?
No, I don't think so. But it was $100 for him to finish by Extra Life to finish it, and then if he doesn't, he has to donate $100 to Extra Life.
Oh,
that's what it was.
No, you give me $100.
Oh, to make it fair. So so it's not gonna happen.
Wait, when is Extra Life? When is Extra Life?
The first week of November. And where are we at? We're in October?
Time, dude.
Or August?
October.
You stop!
No. We're in 2021, right?
You're not going to finish it, dude.
I will you.
I know a lot of people like to do things because they want to spite me, but I don't think you're going to do this.
Make me big, make me big, make me big. No, make me big on the screen. Smitty, make me large. Make me big. Yeah.
Yes, I know. Yes, Lex. Remember, Lex in her mind made me the bad guy in her mind to drive to finish Last of Us 2 for crying out loud. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, plenty of time. We'll figure that out. You go finish DBZ. You said okay, or 2, right?
Plenty of time. Wait, what?
Okay.
You said you were going to finish that. Kakarot?
Oh, you said you were going to
I finished Kakarot. I am going to platinum Kakarot.
Oh,
I
okay.
am gonna play it. I still have the DLC, so I picked up the DLC. I picked up the season pass for Kakarot. So I have that, but I've literally been going through and just finishing off all the side missions and stuff like that. There's still like trading stuff I have to do, and then I have to do the DLC stuff. But I know I gotta get cracking on Metal Gear Solid 5, so I think I'm gonna head or hold off on Red Dead Redemption 2 and finish.
You gotta go.
That's right. And finish it anyway.
We'll see.
Ooh, and don't forget, for Extra Life, I told Smitty that he could, if we got to a certain dono, that I would let Smitty shave half my head. So
okay, so we need to talk about that.
Not half a head.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off the stream, but there is something I want to talk to you about that stuff. So there was an idea I
We're
had.
grounded.
But no, yeah, but
oh wait, you don't get to play grounded. Ha ha!
not with my so-called streamer friends, apparently. So we'll see. Let's go with that. Oh, man.
We love you. What are you up to this week, buddy?
I'm actually going to try to make an effort to start a streaming schedule. So like So like but what I'm gonna do is like because I owe a person from CFG Games a stream of Animal Crossing, so I definitely will play that. They tell me to play it on Sunday. Someone told me to play it on Sunday, and
they have fireworks. If you want to sit with me and Sarah in Animal Crossing, we're gonna watch the fireworks together and get turnips. If you want to go shopping with us, so let me know.
I don't know what any of that meant.
You gotta send me your code. You gotta send me your code.
I got
friend code. Yeah, you got some of your friend code too. That's cool. Yeah, so you finally got your Switch. Yeah, so like so I'm gonna start that on probably I think they said to do it in the evening, so I guess I'll do it in the evening. But then that's gonna be the last I'll try to make that the last evening stream I do, but then I'm gonna start doing my stream starting at 11 o'clock in the morning Central Time to 2 Central, so like about 3 hours. And just play some games. I'm looking at probably maybe starting Star Wars, the Fallen Order, because I have not touched that and I wanted to.
I hear it's good.
Fun. Yeah, I went through that.
Yeah. So like, but we'll definitely see. Yeah, but we'll definitely see what's going on. But I'm definitely really happy to try this out and go on and see the see how this goes. So yeah. So anyways, guys, this is episode number 61 of the CFG Gamecast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation as always. We will be back again next week with some new meaty topics. You can always be sure if you missed if you missed the conversation previously, you could definitely always go on any podcast services, Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, what have you, any podcast services. And actually, we just got this in. We are now on Spotify and what's the other one? The other paid service. I can't even remember.
Rigmarole.
SoundCloud?
Pandora. No, Pandora.
Oh, nice.
Pandora. Yeah, we're on Pandora now. So yeah, so that's very awesome. So thank you for that. And or just go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode as always. So this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing off. Y'all, take it easy.
Hasta luego.
Peace.
Bye.
Ready?
Yeah.